How to make $252,000 a year driving a dump truck. There's a massive need for dump truck businesses right now because there's a shortage of CDL drivers. If you have a CDL, you know how to drive a dump truck, you can make a ton of money in this business. My name's Nate Jones. I post a video every day at 1:15 p.m. Eastern about how to start a business, how I evaluate businesses for sale, how to scale your business, and how to get to the next level in money and entrepreneurship. So if you like that type of content, hit like and subscribe. So let's hop into this and let's break down how you can make $252,000 and what's the profit, what's the cash flow when operating a dump truck business. Okay, so how much can we make? The average rate per load depends on where you're at. Depends on where you're at in the country, depends on if you're in the city, if you're in the suburbs. There is so much that depends on the rate, but really the national average is anywhere from $160 a load to $200 a load. I'm talking sand and gravel, I'm talking rock. I am not talking about asphalt because that's a whole different calculation, but I'm talking about normal dump trucks are hauling sand and gravel, okay? The average that I'm going to use today is $175 a load. Okay, that's the number I'm using. The average loads per day is 5 loads. That's it. Okay, so that's it. That's not a ton, but 5 loads a day. You could probably do more if you're working longer hours, but 5 loads a day, 6 days a week. That is 30 loads a week. Okay, that is $5,252 that you're making every week on a monthly basis. That's $21,000. Times that by 12 puts us at the $252,000 a year. Okay, so working 6 days a week, around 6 to 8 hours a day. You could probably maximize a little bit more days and go to that 5-day a week work week. Okay. So what we need to do is we also need to understand what are our costs, right? Because everyone could say the 252, oh, you can make that, but what's your profit, right? Well, completely understand. Let's get into the cost. A reliable used tri-axle dump truck is going to cost you around $100,000. You might be able to find them for less expensive if you know how to fix them up, if you know the right person who fixed it up. But I would say for the most part, $100,000 will put you in a very good dump truck that's probably not going to break down that soon after you buy it, okay? Your down payment for that truck is going to be anywhere from 10 to 20%. I'll use 10% on this, so you're going to have to put $10,000 down on a $90,000 loan. Your insurance, depending on where you're at in the country, is going to be $10,000 a year. That's what I use as an average. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, which puts us at $3,333 a month. On a 6-year note on that truck that I mentioned above, that's $1,500 a month that you're going to be paying. On your gas is $2,500 a month that you're going to be spending in gas. That also depends on where you live, but I put an average of $2,500. So your monthly expenses are going to be anywhere from $7,333 to $7,500, which puts us at a expenses for the year at $88,000 to $100,000 of expenses a year. There's a lot of expenses in this business, and there's a lot of unforeseen expenses that you don't know that are going to come up that, hey, you got to pay $5,000 to fix something on your dump truck, or you're going to have to pay something that, some fee that you didn't know about, something that comes up that in this business, there's a lot of unforeseen costs. Okay, so what's the cash flow? What are we cash flowing, right? I said the monthly income is $21,000 and the monthly expenses is $7,333. So that puts us at a profit of $13,667 a month, which is an annual profit of $164,000. I want to go conservative, so let's lower that down to $150,000, okay? So, running a successful dump truck company as you, the owner-operator, you're the only driver, you're the only owner, you could possibly net up to $150,000 a year. My thing is, if you're netting $150,000 a year, you need to look long-term. You need to actually start looking at your business as a business, not a job, right? Because that's a good high-paying job, but let's face it, you're building a business, and you should build a business so someday you can sell it. Ain't nobody selling a one-truck dump truck company. You're going to sell your truck, and that's it. Nobody wants to buy a one-truck company because they have to hop in and they just start a company themselves. They don't want to buy that. Now, a 10 to 20, 30-unit company in which the owner is not in the truck every day, in which somebody can buy that business and the owner can come in and be removed and the other person can run it, that's a business that can be sold for a multiple of the net income plus the equipment, right? So you add the equipment in the purchase price plus a multiple of the reoccurring revenue based on the drivers and the viability of the company, right? That's a business that's called generational wealth, and what you can build because you can sell that business. If the profit is 500, 600 grand, you sell it for 2 to 3 times that, you're getting a check for 1.5 plus the value of your equipment. So you're probably selling for about 2 to 3 million, right? That is how your wealth can multiply. It's not going to multiply with one truck. So we need to commit to scaling this business. That means saying, hey, I love making $150,000 a year, but let's live on 80 and let's reinvest some of this back into getting another dump truck, recruiting drivers, really scaling this company out so we can actually start making real money. But before then, what we need to do is, if you're really thinking about starting this business, you need to think of all the ways in which this business will fail. I do this with every business I start, every business I buy. How will this thing fail? How will this thing blow up in my face and I'll get frustrated and I quit? Well, the first thing is you can't get loads. Well, why are you not getting loads? What did you do? How do you get loads? Well, number one, you fail to network with other dump truck companies. So many other bigger dump truck companies will give you loads, or they might actually just help you out. It's crazy how many people helped me out in my business when I first started it, where I just called bigger companies and they're like, oh, you need to do this, this, and this. A lot of people actually want to help you out. They don't really look at you as competition because, let's face it, there's a shortage of dump trucks, right? That's what I just said. So you call these bigger companies, a lot of them want to help you. Call aggregate companies, call general contractors, call construction companies. Anybody who is interacting with a dump truck, you drive by a lot, you see something, go in there and say, hey, if you have anything in the future, let me know. I mean, just putting yourself out there and networking is going to get you more opportunities than anything else, right? So network so you can maximize getting those loads, so you can sit back and choose which loads do you want, which loads pay the most, which loads are actually don't pay as much, but they're a lot closer, a little bit quicker. You can get things going faster. You need to have options. You don't need to go into this business saying, hey, yep, once I get this thing started, then I'll figure out what I'm going to do for my loads. No, you need to do your loads right now before you even start the business so you can project what your cash flow and what your income is going to be, just like I did in this video. Number 2 is no showing. No showing will put you out of business. So how can we minimize that, right? We need to make sure that our schedule is managed properly. So that means we need to make sure that, hey, if we have something scheduled out, can we actually do what we say we're going to do? Because if you don't show, no one's ever going to call you again, because they want somebody to show up and deliver their aggregate. And if you're not there, they're going to say, that guy is horrible. He never shows up. Okay. Number 3 is safety and insurance. If you don't, the DOT, the local state government that you're at, they have restrictions on vehicles that require a CDL. You need to follow these restrictions. You need to make sure that you're up to code, because a safety violation, a DOT inspection, the FMCSA putting knocks on your record and your insurance. If you have a ton of claims, you're not managing your business, you're not running a safe dump truck company, your insurance costs will skyrocket, go up double, and it'll eat into that cash flow. Like I said here, if my insurance was double, my cash flow would go down. It would go down another, $10,000 a year. So yes, there's a lot of wiggle room for cash flow, but make sure you run a very safe company, because if you don't, once you start adding trucks and your insurance goes up double, it starts to multiply every time you add trucks, and your insurance will just skyrocket and it'll put you out of business. So make sure you run a safe company with as much safety resources for your drivers that you can. Number 4 is failing to scale. Like I said before, this is a job. When you start this business and you're a 1-unit dump truck company, you have a job, you don't have a business, okay? A business is a company that works for you as the owner if you're not there. Well, if you're not there as the owner-operator, then the business doesn't make money. You have to drive, so if you get sick for a week, the dump truck doesn't move, okay? So you need to scale this company because it needs to be a company. It needs to be an institution. So scale it by adding another truck and continuing to network with drivers right now, even though you don't have another truck. So network with those drivers and say, hey, when I add another truck, would you be interested in working for me? What would it take for you to work with me? Because then you understand, how much do you need to pay them? How much are they making right now? How does that work in your numbers? What type of drivers are you looking for? Just like in my company, I own an insurance agency. We have a certain type of culture of people that we're looking for, and we try to find those people. Now, they're not easy to find, but hey, let's say, for you, what is your culture? What are you trying to find? How much are you trying to pay people? Are you able to pay them what the going rate is? If you're not, then you have to look at non-traditional ways to find those people. So reach out to me if you want a free 30-minute phone call regarding that. I do not charge for that. I would be happy to provide some expertise on that. Anyways, the next thing you need to do is if you're serious about starting this business, you need to create an LLC. So get with a local attorney, a local insurance agent, and a local accountant to help you set up your LLC, buy insurance, and help you look over your contracts with these other companies, right? Because you're going to be contracted with aggregate companies, general contractors, potentially government contractors who are working on highways, other dump truck companies. You want to have an attorney that can just review a contract to make sure that what you're signing up for is correct, that you're actually going to get paid. When are you going to get paid? How is that all going to work? You know, the thing about business is you need to have a team. It is not just you going in there. This isn't an individual sport. It's a team sport. And the cool thing about having a team is having an accountant, having a CPA, having an insurance agent. You have all these people behind you to help you from not making mistakes. So make sure you get in contact with those people now so it's not too late down the road, okay? After that, you need to commit to starting. There's so many things that will prevent you from starting a business. Number one, if you work for somebody else and you're making good money. Well, I don't want to give up the paycheck. Okay, well then that's a hard decision, right? I understand that. I'm not telling you to shove yourself into starting a business, but what I am telling you is that if you have that entrepreneurial drive and you feel that and it continues to tug at you year after year, you might be an entrepreneur and you should probably really think hard about considering starting this business. But I understand family and your livelihood and everything, that being a business owner is not a gamble, but it is kind of a chance of potentially something going south. So if you're not wanting to take that chance, that's fine. But if you are wanting to take that chance, you need to commit to it and do it. If not, it's going to eat you alive, and you're going to be the old guy sitting in a rocking chair and said, if I would have started my dump truck company, I would have been a multimillionaire. Well, do it, because stop talking about it and do it, okay? So my name is Nate Jones. I post a video every day at 1:15 p.m. So if you like this type of content, hit like and subscribe. I'm going to be bringing great business content to help you get to the next level in your entrepreneurial journey and make a ton of money. Okay? Thank you so much. Bye.